Welcome back to SquareMax Customs. This week we're back on Rustella, the 1957 Chevy 210 wagon. And this week's video is sponsored by Wolfbox. And while I'm here turning flat sheet metal into curved body panels, the Wolfbox 4008 is turning flat tires into round tires, dead batteries into running vehicles, dark spaces into bright workplaces. And the best part, it's also keeping all our camera gear charged up. This thing's great whether you're starting your neglected zero turn, or if you're pulling your classic car out for the first time for the season. This thing's even strong enough to start a diesel, but check it out. If your batteries are completely dead, it's got a little boost button on it. You just hold it, it clicks, and the old Duramax will come alive. This thing's great, whether you gotta blow up the tire on your vehicle, your motorcycle, your bicycle, or your sports balls. It don't matter. Well, I was gonna bring everything I need for a flat tire, a dark workspace, a dead battery, and to keep my camera gear running. Or I could just grab the Wolfbox. Yep, that sounds a whole lot easier. If you're a gearhead like me, or you just want the peace of mind in case your wife and kids ever get an emergency, the Wolfbox 4008 is a handy unit to have. I'm going to leave a link for it in the description. Thank you, Wolfbox, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to Rustella. Well, we're back on the door this week, so we're gonna finish making this piece here and the piece that kicks around in this little channel. That way our gasket can sit on it. And well, we got to do the same thing to this side. Check it out, the brother's here. He's gonna help this week, sand door jams and all the fun stuff. That way hopefully we can get this thing a little bit closer. Thank you, buddy. So
how's everybody been?
Make sure you put in the comments. He missed you.
Let me know. I'm right back.
All right, let's get this door worked on. Let's make a CAD design. Got my cardboard out. Well, you know how it works by now, and if you don't, then you must be new to this channel. But we're gonna start with this, and we're just gonna do a rough trace. And we're gonna make a flat piece to go in there. I think something like that. Look good? Yeah, that'll be fine. I hope it'll be fine. This is a simple patch. Well, it's the start to a simple patch. This corner's probably sounds like it's tricky, but we're gonna do it in a few pieces. And then we'll just slide that up in here. Well, it's tight right now, but I guess we could cut it down a little bit, because I'm not cutting that out. That's an awfully nice piece. I'd like to sleeve it up in there though. I'm just gonna lap it. It is what it is. It'll all be lapped anyways. Boof, piece number one. So what we'll do here is we'll bend a piece of metal up. I don't have a tape measure on me. Something like this. This side will be here. There's our first bend, and then what we need, we'll guesstimate something like that. So this piece I can't really make out of the cardboard, but it's just to give us an idea. We'll throw it through, what we'll do is we'll break it in half, and then we'll put it in the shrinker and we'll shrink it until it's round. That's the plan. See what we got for some scrap metal laying around. We got a bunch of scrap metal. Why? Because, well, we save on everything around here. It's 100-something degrees in Florida, so I apologize for the background noise, but we need to leave the AC on. Oh, it's not long enough for both of them. I think we're gonna be able to get this out of both pieces out of this one piece. Thanks again, buddy, for this cutter. This thing's freaking awesome. It saves on the old wrist, and it's a lifesaver after I freaking pulled my thumb out of socket or whatever I did to it there a couple weeks ago. These old tin snips don't like to work right anymore. This thing works freaking awesome. It's like a ratchet. Brother sanding away on them door jams. So this thing don't like to take corners good, but it cuts straight freaking awesome. Alright, we got that piece. We got this piece. We need to put a brake on this piece. So the one side's fatter than the other because it sort of disappears. Well, it don't disappear, but it gets smaller as it goes around the corner. So this should be fun. Chevy love. You're fine, honey. Look what we made! I just bent it the wrong way. Not that it mattered, it's just that side was prettier. So, either way, it's bent. You gotta remember how I just told you it don't matter that we bent it the wrong way? Well, it does, because I just told you the one side's fatter than the other. So if we do that, it's backwards, but that's fine. Nobody will know the difference. We'll just flatten her back out. It's only metal. You just rebend it. Does it look as pretty? No. And if it looks too horrible, we'll just make a new piece. I'm gonna go massage this on the hammer. I'm gonna go massage it with the hammer on the hammer. Perfect. funny would it be if we just bent it the wrong way again? Freaking hilarious. Well, you'd all be laughing. I'd probably throw the piece and make a new one after that. Well, let's see if we can turn this straight angle piece into a round angle piece. Oh, I love these shrinker stretchers too. Thank you, buddy. Thank you all. I appreciate every single freaking one of you. You all are amazing. So this should be rather easy compared to some of the things we've done because, well, it's such a small piece, you can already see it. It's already turning. So that's a good sign. This piece is still a lot longer than what we need. Look at that. It's looking freaking awesome. What are you looking at? Woohoo, we're getting there. So once it starts turning so much, you can't get a bite real good anymore. So just put it at a little bit of an angle. It'll still pull it. Oh, that's looking good. Might have actually went a little too far. Oh no, I think that's gonna be freaking perfect. Where'd our other piece go? Slide this piece all up in here. Welder slab. Got a little debris stuck up in there, I'm guessing from when we flipped the door up and down. So I don't know how well this video is gonna do, seeing as I think my GoPro's pooping the bed on me. It keeps shutting off and telling me my SD card's not compatible, so hopefully we don't lose no footage. I thought it was my SD card, so I changed it, but it's doing it with another one, so wish me luck on that. I don't want to really buy another camera. So we'll trim this down a little bit, and we'll get it fitting in there better, and that's one corner. We just got to get her, what are you looking at? Okay, well, we just got to get her tacked up and welded up. That'll look perfectly fine when we're done, and it'll have its freaking little angle thing to it. The angle of the dangle, and the thing will run down the gasket and clip it, and well, we got to build that side. First we'll get this one refined. Check it out, we got our two pieces made. That's nice. That'll go in there. I got them all primed on the back with some self-etching because that's what I had. And we'll slide that piece in there. and we'll get it all welded up. Brother's still sanding away at the door jambs. Fun. So yes, fun. I don't have nothing else to say. It's fun. But now that everything's in here, and I sprayed it. Yes, I should probably spray that spot too, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll dose it afterwards. And we'll get this one in there. We'll get that all welded up. Check it out, that didn't come out too bad. It's got a nice bend in it to follow it around. We're gonna we're gonna do some magic over on this side. The brother's got this side roughed in roughly. We got a few things to take off. Suggestion, no, I didn't do it. I told myself to. Maybe on the next one I will. But if you're gonna take your car all apart, you should go get a bunch of Ziploc bags. That way you can put like driver door handle and all this stuff in one bag and then mark what it is, and that way you don't have stuff laying all over and you're like, where did that? Hello, I'm back. I don't know, we just got cut off. The GoPro's extremely mad, so I guess it's time to invest in a GoPro. We're gonna try to walk slow, not make it mad. Me and the brother are about to rip the gaskets off of this side so we can get these doors a little more naked. We got to get the door handles off of these ones, and he's gonna get the back side of these doors sanded. He started sanding on the door jambs. They're coming out nice. That's so much work. You don't realize how long he's been sanding, but it takes a while to get everything sanded down, and we're not even close. We're not even close. There's so much to do to this car. Either way, that's your update. That's what we're doing. Still got to do all these. So much freaking work. Well, on to the next one, huh? Let's see, something like this should work good. You can tell I got a little cute with my bend over right there, and well, there's not much of a flange right there, but that's fine, it's fine. It's the bottom of the door for one, and for two, at least it's not rusty. At least we're making it solid, right? Right. So there's that. Let's we'll guess about something like this. Does that look straight-ish? Straight-ish. But let's. Ugh, my arm don't bend that way. Okay. Ugh. Guess we'll put a mark right there. I don't know how straight that is. How do you make it straight when you don't have a straight line to start with? Alright, we'll just guess. We have to add, that's why we're playing with the cardboard first, not a piece of metal first. Let's try that again. You see me get my arm in there? That's freaking wild. You gotta put it in there all crazy like, and then, oh wait, there's a piece in it. Get the elbow in there, then get it up here. Oh, that looks a little tight. Gotta reverse it to get out. Oh. Okay, let's do. So this actually used to overlap up here, because I remember, you can see a piece still right there that I got to nibble off with the cut off disc. But that used to overlap up there. Don't do it no more, but I think that'll work. And then we don't need this corner, so we'll just get rid of that. Elbow to the corner. Oh. There's a bracket right here that screws you all up from just swinging. What do we... Yeah. Well, there's our first piece. So this side comes around and disappears. So I think we're gonna make this side in two pieces. We'll just make a round piece first, and then we'll make another piece that does its step down and disappears. That's the plan. Give me a second, this one's messing with me because it's got pop-outs in it. We'll put it there and we'll just give her a little mark, something like that. I don't know if that's good or bad. That doesn't look straight at all. It's fine though, it's metal, you can manipulate it a little bit. Okay. Yeah. And around. Got a little crease mark on the back. That'll fit there. So there's our second piece. And now we just need a little something like this. Poof, poof. Oh, look at that. And we'll make that disappear. We'll make that piece in a little bit. Let's get these traced out to a piece of metal. let's see if we can round our little piece. I gotta start remembering to round them in bigger pieces and then cut them down. Oh, I hope we just rounded this the right way. See how it's getting round? Oh, I love this freaking machine. This thing's held together with nails and hopes and dreams, and I bought some airplanes a long time ago, and I got this from the place, and I bought my finger brake from the same place. Yeah, you heard that right. I had airplanes. Yeah, did I ever fly them? No, I didn't even try to get them running. I was afraid if I got them running that I would have tried to fly them, and then, well, if I tried to fly them, I probably wouldn't be here making videos today. Two of them looked like they might have flown with a lot of love, but they were definitely old projects. Some of them probably were best for yard art, but it was still cool. All right. Walked right into the door. We need a little more round. So that's getting there, almost. A little bit at the end. I'll probably have to tap that with the hammer. Oh, we didn't need that. Flatter at that side. Oh, that's about perfect. We need to cut it a little bit at the top here. Just a little bit, and then smash it inward. Oh, freaking thumb ain't working right. Okay. What do we need? What do we need? Let it speak to us. I don't know. Your fingers are in the way. I'm sorry. So we got to bend it a little more in here. This way. And we'll give the top a little kick in, and I think that piece will be good. Then we just have to build this channel. Sweet deal. So check it out, we got the back sides all primed, painted, whatever, that way it don't rust up, even though it's galvy, so it shouldn't rust up. I know, I shouldn't be welding galvy, but look, I'm wearing a mask while I'm welding it, and we usually got the exhaust fan on and the door cracked, so it should be fine. I got a question for y'all. Is this considered 3 patches for this side? Like, this side, is this considered 2 patches? Or is that like 1 patch because it's technically like 1 piece? Like, let me ask you here. We got 1 unique piece we had to make. Like, that's not just a piece we cut and it's perfect. You know, we had to bend it and form it and smash it. We got the second piece. That's definitely not just a regular piece, you know. It had to be cut and shaped, right? And then, oh yeah, I made the last piece. I'll show you here in a second. It's going to go from here to here. This one needs a little cutting down still. I just wanted to get it done so the back side was primed. That way it was dry with the rest of them. So is this considered 3 patches right here? Or because this is gonna sit something like this, is it technically considered 1 patch? I don't know, put it in the comments. Like, I feel like that should be 3 because, well, it's 3 separate pieces I had to make to form 1 piece, but let me know your opinions because I'm really curious what you all would say. Is this perfect? Nope. Will this car ever be perfect? Nope. Brother, thank you for the help today. Much appreciated.
No problem.
Heck yeah. We got a surprise for y'all soon. We're not going to tell you what it is, but it consists of the brother and me and some other vehicle. Either way, I'm going to get this all started to weld in. I got to mark this on the back side. Something right there, and we got to cut that off right there. That way it sits flat because this piece disappears when it hits this little bump right here. That's your update. I'm going to get you back on the fast play, and for the ones that don't like the welder going bzz, bzz, bzz in your face, you can skip forward. Check it out, that came out freaking awesome. Is it perfect? Nope. But will it be perfect when we lay some filler on it? Nope. But it'll be much better. And it's freaking solid. I mean, come on, a week and a half ago, there was like no bottom of the door at all to even make the piece off of. Hopefully, when we put it back on the car, it opens and closes good and it don't hit nothing. But if it does, that's fine. We'll do some trimming. That's the whole downfall to not putting it on the car and taking it off 32 times. You should really put it on the car and take it off 32 times. That way you can really make sure it fits before you go crazy and weld everything solid and do, you know, 80% of the body work on it. But that's not how we roll. So with that being said, we're gonna get this thing covered in fiberglass. Yeah, that's right, fiberglass. We're just gonna sand this all down with some 80 grit. That way it's got something for the filler to grab into. I'm trying to get, this stuff is, I just pulled a big chunk of it out. It's like, it's not hardened sealer of some sort. I don't know. I'm gonna try to sand as much as we can, and we'll just finger in a nice little layer of fiberglass in there. Fiberglass isn't fun to sand, but it's good stuff. It's strong. So I'll get back to you after we get this sanded and we smooth some mud in here and we get to the other side. Yup, the other side. Well, check it out. We got a thin layer of fiberglass on there. Well, we put a nice little layer on there, but then you sand like 90% of it off. I used the block sander and the DA because, well, the DA makes it fast, and I really don't care if this is perfectly smooth down here. I'm gonna put some regular filler on it now. That way we can make it smoother because we don't want it to look like we did a bunch of work to it. It don't really matter, but we might as well practice, and practice makes us better at what we do, and it'll make our rides look better. So with that being said, I'm gonna mix some of this stuff up, and I'm gonna spread some more filler, and I'm gonna sand some more. Yay! So what do you think? That didn't come out too bad. Look, it's got a spot for the gasket to go. We still got to drill all the holes for the gasket, but I'm going to wait till we get new gaskets or whatever. That way I know exact. Well, I guess we could just measure. They look like they're all consecutive. Maybe we'll do that. Just measure, boop, 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 and we'll get them. But either way, we got where our gasket will run. We got our door seams, so hopefully the water and stuff won't come in. Like I said before, we got to drill holes into this eventually, but we got to do it to all 4 doors. And what that is, in case the water comes through because your window sweeps are bad. Or here's the thing I was thinking about. Somebody asked me in the comment, why do these old cars rust out at the bottom? Well, almost anything rusts out, but besides the water coming in here, old cars have all these clip holes. So as the rain comes down, no matter what, you're gonna get water inside stuff. There's many other reasons. I think this one was from the ocean. That's just my guess. Either way, I could put a couple more coats of primer, rattle can primer on it. Now you guys see me use that rattle can primer all the time. You really shouldn't paint, auto paint over that stuff. That stuff's just, it's just a hold by, or you know, if you're just doing a hot rod. But we're gonna actually paint this thing eventually with freaking paint. So I went on last night and I ordered a gallon of black epoxy primer. So with that being said, hopefully in a couple weeks we'll have the rest of the rust on the shell. Hopefully, fingers crossed, in a couple weeks. Plus we got a week or so till the primer comes in. But if everything goes right, I think I'm gonna have to order a camera. This thing has shut off like 32 freaking times during this recording for this video. Either way, hopefully we'll have the primer and we'll get most of that off, because they say cheap rattle can primer and paint will have chemical reactions and it'll bubble up. So instead of taking a chance, we're just gonna try to sand as much of that off. And like I said, hopefully we'll be priming it in a couple weeks, so stick with me. We only got 20 some odd more rust holes to fix on the shell. We still got to do the fenders and the hood and all that later. So with that being said, let's get the door flipped over, because we have to put a skim coat of something on that side so it's at least roughed in. So we're gonna try to do this with the video recorded and not fast play. We just need to cover our weld with the fiberglass, just in case. Like I said before, I'm gonna eventually order a bunch of undercoat in and spray, and I'm gonna try to spray the inside of the doors and underneath the car, and we're just gonna bombard this thing with sealant to try to get the other side. At least that's the plan. I like to mix the fiberglass resin in. If you're new to the channel, I mix it into my cheap Bondo, and it makes my Bondo lay on smoother. My body fill, I'm sorry, Bondo's a brand. I also mix it into the fiberglass, and it makes the fiberglass lay on way smoother than typical fiberglass. Typically fiberglass goes on really chunky. Now this is short strand. That's all we need, because I'm not trying to fill no holes or nothing. Well, maybe a pinhole or so from you know, welding and stuff, but other than that, we're not trying to fill a baseball size hole with fiberglass. Which, I mean, if that's what you're doing, there's nothing wrong with that. To each to their own, you know. Every project has a, you know, a level of careness. And this one, like I said, I think the more work we do to it, the more we care about it. So instead of doing a farm can paint job, maybe we'll buy decent paint and we'll give that a shot. I'm not sure on the color. Why don't you all put the color you think down there? I mean, we've talked about blue and white. We've talked about black. We've talked about like the blue and white, like the old school blue and white, like these cars came back in the day. We've also talked about like a root bear. We've talked about so many different colors. Y'all on still? I didn't hear it beep. So what we're doing here is we're trying to pack it in the weld. I hit this all with 80 grit real quick. Like I showed you in the previous episode, this door's got probably an 1/8 to 1/4 inch of filler in some spots. We're just trying to level it back out with what it was. I'm not stripping this door down. It'll be fine. This car's, it's gonna be a driver, not a SEMA. Well, maybe, I mean, SEMA, look what I did. That's what kind of car it's gonna be, not a SEMA build, but it'll be fine. I tell you what, I mixed up way more fiberglass than I needed. That always happens. I looked at it, I took one good scoop out, and I was like, yeah, I better just mix up some more. Yeah. Now we got a whole bunch. That's okay. We'll do something with it. We'll just put it on a little thicker and sand it off a little more. Hopefully that's laying out as nice as I'm hoping. So in my opinion, that wasn't good. It was good before. I just took it all back off. Dang. Should have just left it a little bit by a little bit, huh? Live and learn, live and learn. Oh yeah, for anybody new to the channel, I'm not a body man at all. If you go back and watch my beginning episodes, way back when we were building the Jeep and stuff, we're definitely getting better than we were. Try not to play with it too long, because if you play with it too long, it gets way too hard. And then it makes a mess, which we're probably going to do that. We had it laid out nicer the first time. Oh, it's so upsetting. I really want to wipe it right down the thing so it's like one continuous. It'll be fine. This is only first layer anyways. We got to put filler on top of this. What am I worried about? Yeah? Okay. Alright, let's let that harden up and we'll get sanding. The fun part. Well, check it out. It's not too bad. We got to block sand it. It was just to make it one level again. We're gonna get it on the car and we'll block sand it before we put the epoxy primer down. I'm super excited for that. Hopefully we can. There's actually so many more rust spots to fix on this before we are even ready for that. I'm probably jumping the gun, but that's fine. It was like 105 degrees, I swear, like 20 minutes ago. Well, I think we got a storm coming, so that's cool. The weather just dramatically dropped. Sometimes in Florida, it'll rain for like 5 minutes. The weather gets real nice, and then all of a sudden it gets wicked hot and humid. And either way, I'm sure it's like that anywhere. That's freaking awesome. I'm not putting no primer, no rattle can primer on it. I don't see the sense. I feel like I'd be wasting my time. Maybe we'll dust some on it when we go to block sand or something. I should probably get some of that powder they put on. You see the powder, charcoal powder or whatever? Or they sell a rattle can. I don't know. I've never really gone that far or that deep on body work before. So we'll learn to block sand together better, I guess. I block sanded, just never block sanded a whole car. I didn't even block sand my square body. Nope. DA'd the whole truck. Yeah, she came out good. Get compliments all the time. Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's see if we can get this door bolted back on the car and at least see if it'll shut. I really shouldn't bolt it back on the car because the door jamb needs to be sanded, but I'm trying to beat the freaking storm. My power already started flickering. My air compressor shut off and kicked on, so I'm not going to play that game. That thing was expensive. Well, check it out. We got 4 doors on this thing that are somewhat rust-free. We're tight at the corner, unfortunately. But that's fine. That's going to have to wait for another week. Tiny Dog says we need to get inside because the storm's going to take us away. She's an awesome little guard dog until the storms or gunshot or anything like that. And then she's like, Daddy, save me, or Mommy, or whoever's closest. With all that being said, that's all the time we got this week. I appreciate you guys all watching. This thing's freaking crazy. How many patches do we put up here? So that was 5 that we made. I'm putting 5 down. Do you remember if we did last week? I don't remember if we wrote last week down. What is that? 113? 113, I think. 113 or 117. We'll count them maybe next week. Oh, this car has come so far. I appreciate you guys all coming along the journey with me. I appreciate you all coming and watching every week. SquareMaxMerch.com if you want to get yourself a shirt or a sticker or anything. If not, that's cool too. Like, share, comment, and peace out. Rock on. Love you all. I'll see you next Friday. Thanks, Wolfbox, for sponsoring this video.